So today's project, what we're going to work on is we're moving over to the other side of the power plant, and we're going to work on this. I believe if we change this, we possibly could have air conditioning functioning in the Hairy Buffalo. So let's get to it, see what we can come up with. So here's what I ordered. I've got the switch. There you go. If you want to order from this place, Truck AC. Not a sponsor of mine, but they seem to have the best buy on this switch. These going for, this is 2026 when you're watching this, or when I'm recording it. And I paid about 15 bucks for this. I've seen them 30, 40 bucks, exact same switch, but Truck AC Plus, 15 bucks. I went ahead and ordered extra O-rings. Now this is only going to need one O-ring, and you'll see it when I take this apart. But I thought, what the heck, let's get multiple O-rings. You can see them in there. We'll just need one of those, but hey, for 2 bucks, I got extra O-rings that, you know, 25 years from now I may need another one, but I will have them. Anyways, we're going to use those, and then of course I got all the magic juice over here. The magic juice I'm talking about. So we got lots and lots of this stuff. We got our refrigerant, our R-134a. Picked up some PAG 46 oil charge just to play it safe. Got an extra one of these. Of course, got one of these because, you know, we're master mechanics now, so only the best. So what I grabbed was a 11/16. And that's what's going to break this thing loose right here. Easy enough if I don't lose it. What am I talking about? We're not going to lose that. It's not a number 10 metric. So what I see here is you got to unplug this guy. And it looks like right back here. There's a clip on the back side of this, which we're either going to break it or we're going to get it off. So you're just going to pull up on the tab and that'll pop off. So there's a tab right back here. This is the tab on the back side, and it's just a take your finger, kind of pull back, and it pulls right off. So we got that out of the way. Now we're going to take our 11/16, break this puppy loose. And this is the old guy. This is the old part here, our old switch. It's a low pressure assembly switch. You know, it's called a number of things. Anyways, it comes off. You'll see this is it. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, I can see, you can't maybe. But we'll see what we can do about that. So you're going to see here, this O-ring. See what I'm talking about here. This guy right there. That's why we bought that pack. We're going to go ahead and switch that out, kind of clean this up. Just play it safe. So we'll do that next. Alright, so I got a trusty flathead screwdriver here, a little tiny thing. You know, one of those pocket ones you can just stick in your front shirt pocket. And all I'm doing is I'm just going to pry this thing off here. You know, we got a whole bag of new ones. We don't have to be too fragile in this. Although, you know, you're going to save your original equipment here if you want to save it for, you know, a Hairy Buffalo museum. You can save this, I suppose. It's up to you. But I think by the time I'm done whittling on this, you're probably not going to save this puppy. But anyways, so there, I just pried that little guy off. Yeah, you see, not rocket science. And that sits in that little groove right there. So I'm going to go match this up to one of the 27, 28 different size O-rings I got in that bag, and realize that they probably didn't send what I needed. But we'll get there. What I did was I found the cleanest rag that I have, and that's advisable to do this right. You want to make sure it's clean, because, you know, you're touching some very sensitive parts up there, and cleanliness is next to godliness on this stuff. Alright. Now, of course, this O-ring is just, well, you know, slightly smaller than one I took out of there. But don't panic. If we drop it, I have 2 more to go as backups. So there we go. That fit on there pretty good. We're gonna say it's factory. And next I'm gonna put a little bit of goo juice on here, just to lubricate it. That's really what I'm gonna do, and nothing like a lithium grease or anything like that. Actually, probably what I'm gonna do is use a little bit of the stuff I use for electrical contacts, just just a little. I don't need a lot. I just need a little bit on there. That's all. So hang on. Like that. That's. Can you see that? That's probably too much. Okay, let's put it on. Just a little bit. Yeah. Don't need a whole lot now. It's not a government job here where we're going to waste a bunch of stuff. We're just going to put a little bit on there. There we go. Like I said, let's just keep that little rubber O-ring lubricated. You know, it's going to get a bunch of oil in here anyways. Alright, so we're back here to ground zero. And here's this part. Let's see, it's just the two prongs on the inside. This is where it screws on. So everything that I popped on the old Google and looked up told me that my problem, and all I was doing was just blowing blowing hot air when I would turn the AC on, and then my clutch over here would not kick on the AC. But when I ran a hot wire to it from the battery, it would kick on. I could get it to kick out, kick off, kick out, fry a few fuses, you know, all that stuff, change the fuses, say don't do that again, maybe replace this part. And you know, it's a $15 part. If it doesn't work, well, it's a $15 part. It's new. It's a new part. It's new. Next guy that buys it, I'm going to say, hey, that's been replaced. That's why I'm asking the price I'm asking. So, I don't know. I don't want to go too herc on this thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's necessary to go Hercules on it, so we're going to call it right there. Now, hey, why not stare at my starter for 20 minutes? So anyways, I just popped this back on. See it right there. Don't panic. If you didn't see it, you can still figure it out just by looking, because hey, if this guy can do it, you can. So anyways, there we go. I'll wipe off. You know, I gotta make it look good here. So, okay, we got that on. Next thing we're gonna do is start to throw some 134a into this low pressure side here. That would be this guy over here. So we'll just pop this cap. I see this cap comes off. I mark mine L, low. Oh, hang tight. And somewhere over here, see the H? That's the high side. H, high. L, low. So anyways, always mark them. Silver Sharpie. And you'll know. Never get it confused. Which side's which. So that's the low side. This is the side where I'm going to start juicing. So hang tight. Okay, so I've got this gauge hooked up. I hooked it up to that spigot. Hooked it up to that spigot, and you can see, oh, we got nothing. We got nothing. Now I want you to not panic about any of this, because that didn't seep out over time into the atmosphere or cause any greenhouse global warming problems. That was, you know, properly captured in the proper reclamation methods used by reclamationers. Show you something happening here, guys. It's now starting to function. See our clutch? Our clutch is now moving. We're gonna say that's a good sign. Alright, so here goes a little bit of the PEG 46 oil charge. And it says to do this until the can fills empty. It's, you know, 9 to 12 or 12 to 3. I'm kind of doing 3 to 9, sometimes 12. You know. I will point out, the fact that that clutch is moving, that was not moving before we replaced the switch. Without the switch, that clutch was not moving unless I ran that hot wire to it for the battery. Okay, notice that keeps dropping. See that? Every time that clutch kicks on. What that tells me is we definitely need a lot more 134A. Technically on an empty truck like this, it's going to take about 2.5 cans. So I'm going to keep juicing this and I'll be back to you. Little tip I got. Okay, so these cans here, these 134A cans. Okay, well the thing about those, I'm gonna bring the other one. I'm gonna get you one here that doesn't have that gauge on it. So that opening right there, inside there, if you had really good eyes that could squint and look down in there, there's a tiny little tab in there. That's got to be pushed. It's got to have something that just kind of, pushes against it. What I found was this gauge. This gauge works great if you're, if you're checking to see what your PSI is, or what it's designed for. It's designed for the Easy Chill, Easy Chill can, because this is high pressurized. This is a high pressurized can. You'll feel it. In fact, it's still cold. It's probably been about 30 minutes since I used that can. It's still cold. But the high pressure will blow through that hose, and it works just fine. It doesn't have to have a little thing that's pushing down on it inside. Well, the gauge doesn't have the thing that I need to push on these extra cans, these cans. So what you got to get, you got to run back to your big box store. And since they're not a sponsor, I'm not going to say who they are, but they could become one. Just, hit me up. Just message me down below. So I went back. I got this gauge here. It's not a gauge. Actually, it's a reusable recharge hose. So it's got inside here, if you could really squint and if the packaging wasn't reflecting and getting all glary-eyed in you, you would see that there's a little tab in there that will do what it needs to do. It says it is compatible with sealed and self-sealing valve cans of R-134a. So we're going to use that, and we're hopefully going to save a lot of time because, I was over there, I was a half hour. I'm doing this. I'm old, man. My wrist started, it's like, it hurts. So we're going to give this a try. I'm going to get all hooked up. I'll get you back over to the Hairy Buffalo. We'll hopefully get this going. Just a little inside secret here. It's starting to blow a little, the hot air that was coming out. I mean, hot furnace air. It's lukewarm air now. So we are getting somewhere. Okay, I was just going to show you this. I don't know if you can see that in there. Light's getting a little bad here. But you can see there's like a little tab down inside there. And that's what the other thing does not have. So this is what I think we need. So I just wanted to show you that. Alright, I hope you can hear me. What I'm going to hook up first is the PAG 46 oil charge. Since I now realize that never got in before. So we're going to hook that up. Alright, so we got the oil in. Now I am going to put a 12-ounce can, R-134a, AR, XYZ. We're going to put that in. Remember, we already did the first can, and I believe that had like 18 point whatever ounces in it. This will be 12. The whole truck on empty takes about 2.5 pounds, so technically about 2.5 12-ounce cans. So we'll check it. I'll go back and I'll keep checking it with this gauge so I make sure I stay in the green. We'll stay in the green. We'll stay in the green. It is starting to blow colder air out. Also, if you're paying attention to that clutch, you're seeing it now engaging and running because the more 182.95a that gets into it, as well as the oil that I put in, it's freeing up and engaging better. That almost sounds like I knew what I was talking about. What I'm doing now is I'm going to check to see where we're at the fuel source. Alright, I'm going to zoom in on this. You'll see the reading. Now we're staying a solid about 35 psi right now. That is staying in the green, and that is staying fully engaged. The clutch is now working. Let's go inside. All right, inside, we're blowing cold air now. In the X number of years I've owned the Hairy Buffalo, it has never ever had air conditioning. It now has cold air conditioning. So folks, that's how you can do it. Hey, if this goober can do this with a Hairy Buffalo, then I know you can do it. Okay. So at about 52 miles an hour, heading down the road, you can see right about 54.3 degrees coming out of the old ventilation there. Now, I will say this. What I have noticed is when I slow down, come to a stop, and I'm sitting there maybe at a light or I'm idling, or if I'm, it's sitting in the driveway running and idling while I'm running the gauge on this, see where I'm at. that temperature you see there will go up about 10 to 11 degrees when it's just sitting, running with the air conditioning on. When I'm going down the road with the speed build up, the old RPMs just cranking away there, it cools it off a lot more. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. You know, working with the hairy buffalo here. Got a little age on her, but yeah, live to ride, ride to live, huh? Here, Harry. Okay, so the lowest I saw so far was 51.7, and it keeps bouncing up to about 53 to 54. So right now it's saying 53.4, 53.1. So we're bouncing around those temps right now. Again, going down the highway. When I hit the 51.7, I was at 60 miles an hour. Right now I'm cruising at about 40. Put it in perspective for you. So we'll watch this for a couple days. I'll probably let it sit for a while, come back out, start it up, see what we got. I'm still at only about 2 cans total. It's supposed to be about 2.5 on an empty system. I'm at, like I say, about 2 plus a small little can of that oil that I put in it. So I'm going to check it in a couple days. Feels like it's warming up again. You know, I can go ahead, top off, get it to the proverbial 2.5 can mark, or go grab the dye kit and do a dye test on it, see if we got a leak. That's the next thing. I only put one rubber O-ring on, so, you know, could be leaking from there, don't know. Could be leaking up the line, down the line. We'll see. We'll do a test in a couple days. If I end up having to do the dye test and stuff, watch here. There'll be another video for you. So appreciate you appreciate you checking in on the old machine factory here, and the hairy buffalo getting the chill on. Got the chill factor going on. That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's making fun. Yeah. Making fun? I didn't think so. We'll catch you later. Thanks for tuning in.